meeting to order.
Councilman Samaluka will be here shortly. Councilman Garrick. Here. Councilwoman Sanchez.
Here.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Here.
Council President Akamato.
Here. Please rise for the salute of the flag and remain standing for a moment of silence in memory of Paul Roberge, former planning board member, chairman. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all council members, to all legal newspapers, in accordance with the provisions of Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law, 1975.
The public is hereby advised that any statements made during a meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Southbrook may not be privileged or protected, and that persons or entities who take issue with such comments or are offended by same may have in the past sought legal redress through the courts. Any member of the public who addresses the council speaks for themselves and not for the council.
Motion to open the public.
Second.
Okay. Motion to open the meeting to the public for the open space grant application for Fish Street parking and for any other items.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Kevin, right?
This is for Fifth Street Park first?
I thought about that.
Anybody? Anybody for grant application? Okay.
Really? Good evening, everyone. Thomas Van Lincoln, 128 Lincoln Avenue, Southbrook. Just want to, as usual, bring forward my usual Mayor's Youth Group update. Since the last council meeting, the Mayor's Youth Group participated in the annual Earth Day cleanup, which was held Saturday, April the 20th. That was held at Tricentennial Park by 5 Avenue and South River Road. Kids planted flowers along the flagpole for spring and also cleaned up trash at the Tricentennial Park. They did a great, I want to say they did a great job of having a great turnout of kids. We had officials there, as always. Thank you all for your support on that day. It was just great to see the enthusiasm on these kids' faces as they were picking up the trash and just things they do with all the planting. So again, I want to thank everyone for coming out. Looking ahead, the only thing we have coming up, well, as usual, every year we usually ask the Mayor's Youth Group to participate in the annual fishing derby on June 15th. So pretty much all I got right now. Again, well, the last thing I'll just say is, as I say every month, anybody, any Southbrook youth in grades 4 through 12 can join the Mayor's Youth Group at any time of the year. Thank you.
Thanks, Thomas. Anyone else?
Good evening. Omar Rodriguez, Southbrook. We received upon this newsletter, and I praise the mayor because he's trying to say to people to come here, well, to tell us to come here to exchange ideas. But then in 3 minutes, it's not much that we can do to change any ideas. At the last meeting, I was accused actually of trying to push for my platform. As most of you might be aware, I'm going to be running for council. When the time comes, we'll open the meeting to the public, 10, 20, 30 minutes, whatever is needed. But right now, by reading this, if he's pushing a platform, I believe that the town should not be paying for these political statements. This is a political statement by all means. It should be paid by Southbrook Democrats 2024. And actually, if anything, on all these pictures of all the candidates that are running, at least they should make sure that the numbers or the names are correct, unless they're trying to push somebody and they don't like the name. The names are wrong right here. But anyway, moving with my 3 minutes. The insurance rates, I believe that we are going to have time to talk about that. And I'm glad to see that it's a second reading for the scooters actually. Basically, it's 8 pages, and the 8th page, what we see is gonna be the helmets. Everybody that rides a scooter will have to wear helmets, I believe is proactive. But just for the council, it took a lot of time, and I know that it's a lot of work, 6-8 months, and that's what I'm trying to tell you, that I believe that you should start working on anything, on any kind of ordinance in order to change the table of organization of the police department. 3 captains for the small town of Saddlebrook is too many. And again, when it's 3 minutes, I believe that some of you that are sitting over there should be giving us more than 3 minutes, that people need to speak up. Because some of you out there are, the town, we the taxpayers are paying health insurance for a husband and wife of $30,000. For a family is $40,000. That's we the taxpayers pay for some of you out there. At least you should allow us to have more time. Because the same way that you approve a $30 million building of the new building, this new building costs $30 million. But in 3 minutes, you cannot argue nothing. And it doesn't matter if you are just one party rule right now. It doesn't matter. Once you get elected, you are for the people and by the people. You should ask questions. You should oppose to some, if you're not in agreement, you should oppose. Like the water rates today that are going to try to be increased. The question to you is that it's almost half the year and you haven't introduced the budget. Where is the budget? The budget should be introduced already long time ago. Next month is half of a year. When is it going to be adopted? That's what it bothers me about the water rates. But since it's going to be a second reading, I'll be back with questions about that. But then again, let's not just forget about taxpayers got to foot the bill also for a 300,000 business administrator. That's what the people at home and all the viewers need to hear and we need to discuss. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? No one? Motion closed.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mayor?
Thank you, Council President. I just want to respond while it's fresh in my mind. Omar, I understand that you're not happy with the 3 minutes, but I know you're also aware that you and you do come to the work session, and you can speak as long as you want at the work session. The only difference is that that's not televised, but there are minutes that people could read. So you can get your point across. Regarding the budget, Jimmy Homsey, our business administrator, our CFO, Vince Bono, and our town auditor, Steve Walcott, and I, we've been working on the budget, preparing this year's budget. We did need to resolve this water rate issue before moving forward, but after tonight, I think we're going to be in good shape to be introducing that shortly. We will also be introducing a bond ordinance probably next month for the 2024 road program. Again, that'll probably be at June's work session. There are several ordinances tonight. There's a second reading on the scooter ordinance, second reading to fix the water rates. There's a first reading on state tree and salt shed mandate, which is a state mandate. All towns have to adopt that ordinance. And there's also 2 handicap space applications that should be awarded tonight. That's for a handicap space in front of the person's house. They have to fill out an application and qualify for that. I encourage all the council members to approve these ordinances. The road program, which is paving of the streets, Hobson and Dewey Avenue were milled this week and will be paved as soon as weather permits. We will be going out to bid shortly for the 2024 road program. Bob, you're looking at me. Did I say something wrong about Hobson?
They were paid too.
Oh, they were? Okay. Thank you. So much that I know, right? I knew it was going to happen soon. We'll be going out to bid shortly for the 2024 road program. Roads that are gonna be paved this year are Lincoln Avenue, Van Orden Street, Nightingale, Elm, Ash, Dyer Place, Sterling Place, and Orchard Lane. Alberta Drive will be done after determining whether public service, electric and gas are going to be replacing the gas mains. It's still up in the air whether they're going to do so or not. I believe they're going to try to get it in, and then there's no sense in paving and then rip the street up. County roads, Saddle River Road, Midland, where it hasn't been done, Paley Avenue, Westminster Place, will be paved early next year. The County Road Department will fill potholes on Midland Avenue between Erie and Paley, which is by far the worst area. So they will be filled in those potholes, but early next year, probably in the spring, the county has said they're gonna pave those county roads that need it. Property maintenance, I want to tell everybody that we're working very closely with our subcode official and our property maintenance officer to identify areas that need to be cleaned up. We're trying to bring violators into compliance. We do investigate every complaint that we receive, and we're trying to be more proactive. And we are doing better with that. We get complaints and we try to remedy it right away. The Garden State Parkway Bridge construction, that's going to be, the Turnpike Authority will be demolishing that whole bridge, the Garden State Parkway Bridge, which is over Saddle River Road. It's located between Birch Street and Bell Avenue. The project, it's been going on for a long time now, but they haven't had to block the street. What they're doing though, this is the main portion, is they're actually going to demolish the bridge, but they're doing it in sections. The sections are prefabricated, and they're going to be brought in, and they're going to do it over one section at a time over the weekend. So on the parkway, it's going to be reduced to one lane in that area, but it's going to take from, and the road's going to be closed from Friday at 6 p.m. to Monday at 6 a.m. And they're going to remove that section, put in the new section, secure it, and that should be done. But it's weather, they need to have the right weather. It can't rain. They don't want to do it on a holiday weekend because they can't close the parkway completely or even reduce it down to one lane. So they were supposed to do it this weekend, was going to be the first time. But they canceled because it's supposed to rain one of the days. So they have to have pretty much perfect weather. The next weekend they're going to do it, it's Friday, May 31st at 6 p.m. Again, 6 p.m. Through Monday, June the 3rd at 6 p.m. And then there's 2 weekends they're going to try to do in July, but they're going to have to try to fit that other one in. So, but the road's going to be completely blocked during that time between Bell Avenue and Birch Street. Now, local traffic can maneuver in between there, but they also have detours that are going to be further, like by Route 4, they're going to direct any traffic that's coming southbound, say over Route 4, that's going to be detoured. If there's not going to be police there, but there's going to be a sign, they're going to try to direct the traffic to go Passaic Street. And then on the other side, on the south side, if you're coming north by Railroad Avenue, they're going to direct the traffic, again, not local traffic, other traffic, they're going to detour it to Railroad Avenue to Rochelle Avenue. So buses and vehicles like that are going to be, they're not going to be allowed to even come down Saddle River Road. So it's going to be difficult, but I think we're going to get through it. 4 weekends, it's the best way. The bridge needed to be replaced. It's old, it's rusty, and they needed to do it. So please be aware of that, and we're going to announce it, advertise it, put it out there as much as we can over all social media, Nixle, probably reverse 911, everything we can to to alert the public. There's big signs out there now that the state have out, which we're getting a lot of questions because people see it, but we're going to do the best we can and we'll get through it. Okay. Now, where was I? Okay, prior events and activities. This past month, we had, as Thomas said, we had the Earth Day cleanup Saturday morning. Thank you to the Mayor's Youth Group, Thomas, DPW for assistance. That same day, girls softball opening day was that day. The Commissioner, Eric Torbick, all the coaches, volunteers did a great job. Thanks Thomas Van Winkle for taking photos. On Saturday, April 27th, the Cub Scout Pack 222 Blue and Gold ceremony was that day at St. Philip's. So all the Cub Scouts moved up, and it was a nice ceremony I attended. Choraleers from the Saddlebrook High School Middle School performed at the local art meeting on Monday, May the 6th at the Senior Center. Thank you to Malcolm Kudan, the teacher, and the choraleers for an awesome performance. They really are, I attended that as well, they really are a talented group of young men and women. We had a school liaison meeting, myself and Councilman Garrick on Wednesday, May 8th at the Saddlebrook Board of Ed office. Items of discussion were parking on Congress Street, which has become problematic. They were moving the crosswalk on Mayhill Street, the one south by Rochelle Avenue. They want to move it more towards the middle, more, I guess it would be eastbound towards the middle where the kids go in the front of the school, and also better communication between the town and the Board of Ed. So we're working on those. So those were the three primary things we spoke about. The VFW installation dinner was Saturday, May the 11th at the VFW Post 3484. Congratulations to all the officers from Post 3484, the riders group, the motorcycle group, and the auxiliary. The Women's Club held their scholarship award ceremony at the Senior Center this past Tuesday evening, May the 14th. Congratulations to residents Spencer Berghan of Paramus Catholic and Antoinette Dietz of Bergen Tech. The Saddlebrook Police Department Memorial was held yesterday, May the 15th, 12 noon at 93 Market Street. It was a very nice, solemn event, but a nice event for the families of the deceased officers. We had, unfortunately, we had 3 police officers, retired police officers that passed away this year, so, or this past year. I also want to say, we had it at the monument is at 93 Market Street, which is the old town hall. I just want everybody to know, the public to know, that we do have a committee of myself and council members and the business administrator and Pete Lidigo, the town clerk. I formed this committee because we're going to sell the old town hall property and at 93 Market and a portion of 73 Market. So we have our town planner involved, and this is going to move forward. So we don't want to sit on it too long. We want to do this. We said we were going to do it when we built this municipal complex, and we're going to move forward. Upcoming events: the Fairlawn Rotary Club is hosting a drum circle at the Senior Center May the 21st at 12 noon. They're going to serve lunch afterwards. If you're interested, please RSVP Joe, our Director Joe Lisi. The league graduation pizza party is Tuesday, May the 21st, 5 to 8 p.m. at Veterans Field. Congratulations to all the graduates. The Memorial Day Parade is Sunday, May the 26th, beginning at 1:30 at Fairlawn Parkway and Evans Place. There are services taking place all morning, starting at 9 a.m. at the American Legion Circle at Market and Welcome, and then there's 3 others after that. The VFW parade program will be distributed and posted when it's available. The VFW is working on it. This parade, we help sponsor the parade, but the VFW, they're the ones that run the parade. Congratulations to this year's Grand Marshal, Police Officer Joseph Scrifani, Saddlebrook Police Officer, is the Grand Marshal. The VFW Memorial Day ceremony is the next day, Monday, May the 27th, 11 a.m. at the VFW Circle, Saddle River Road and Mayo Street. Because Memorial Day falls on a Monday, it's a holiday, grass and yard waste for Section 1 of the town will be picked up by the DPW on Friday, May the 31st. Our first outdoor concert will be Thursday, May the 30th, 7 p.m. at the Municipal Complex here. A local band called Tuned Up will be playing. The primary election is Tuesday, June the 4th. Polls open up at 6 a.m. and close at 8 p.m. And finally, the Mayor's Fishing Derby is Saturday, June the 14th, 9 to 12, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Saddle River County Park by the lake. Thank you.
Councilman Gare?
I have a couple of things. I had the honor of attending the VFW Post 3484 Officers Installation on Saturday, May 11th. Congratulations to all that were installed. On Tuesday, May 14th, I attended the Saddlebrook Women's Club Scholarship Award Ceremony. Congratulations to Antoinette Dietz and to Spencer Bergham. And thank you to the Women's Club for all that they do for Saddlebrook. Yesterday, I attended the Saddlebrook Police Memorial Service to honor all of our deceased members of our police department. I just want to thank everybody that participated and made that a huge success. I also attended the softball opening day. I'm coaching my daughter this year, and the blue and gold ceremony for the Boy Scouts I was at. We have our next flood committee meeting on Thursday, June 27th at 6:30 here at the Municipal Complex. Anybody that's interested, please attend. Again, that's June 27th at 6:30 here. And then finally, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody at the Memorial Day Parade. Thank you.
Councilwoman Mazur?
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to acknowledge two professions that were celebrated this month. It was National Nurses Day on May 6th and also National Teachers Day on May 7th. These are two professions that we could not do without, and I'd like to thank them for their commitment and dedication. And on a different note, I'd like to express my condolences and sympathy to Maria Roberge and her two daughters passing in the fall. He was, like you said, a planning board member, but he was also a personal friend to myself, and I know many people up here. Our hearts and prayers are with you. Thank you this time.
Councilwoman Sanchez?
Well, I hope all the mothers out there enjoy their Mother's Day. As the mayor and Dave said, congratulations to all the VFW officers who were installed. Congratulations to Jervis Cranny on being the Grand Marshal. Congratulations to all of our graduates. And I just want to wish all the fathers out there a happy Father's Day as well.
Yeah, she was not here. So May 5th was National Firefighters Day. I want to congratulate Joe Scrofani. It's a big honor, especially being as young as he is. A lot of guys have to wait until they're in their 60s, 70s, some in their 80s to get that honor. So congratulations to him. Like everybody said, the Women's Club, I don't know if anybody's aware of what they do, but they're involved with everything in the town. Everything we do, they're there. They do it for no notoriety, no money. Everything they do is out of their pocket. So if you ever see them around and you want to say thank you, I don't even think they take donations. Say thank you. It'll go a long way, those women, because they really do a lot for the township and the kids. I just wish everybody a happy Memorial Day. And, do you have anything you want to say? I mean, I know you're just walked in.
Yeah, just, I hate to do this, and I apologize to everyone out there and in here. Was there something that was discussed by the residents that something that I should address? Any comments from the residents? I see a whole bunch of people, so I'm not sure what they were talking about.
Not really anything specific.
Did we talk about the traffic studies?
No.
Okay, it's okay? Okay, so last month, the traffic study was done. Actually, it was done a few months ago. But last month, the mayor had asked me a question, and I said I hadn't reviewed the study because I didn't have it. So we got it. And it's on Claremont Avenue. We had the speed box put on 2 locations. One is near 92, which is the lower end off of Grunauer. And they found that about 10% of the vehicles were above the speed limit, 90% below or at. The average speed was 27 miles an hour. It's 25 mile an hour zone. So it just, in trying to figure it out, it seems weird that only 10% of the vehicles were traveling above the speed limit, and the average speed was above the speed limit. That means that the 10% that were above the speed limit were really above the speed limit. But most of the vehicles, 90%, were at or below the speed limit. Now, the other part of Claremont Avenue, upper part, closer to Westminster, there were more vehicles, almost double the amount of vehicles in that area. And 5% were above the speed limit, and 95 were at or below the speed limit. But again, the average speed was 26 miles an hour. So the average speed was just slightly above the posted speed limit, but only 5% of the vehicles were above the speed limit. Again, meaning that the people that were traveling above were really above. Personally, with these figures, and again, we're going to talk committee-wise, my initial feeling is that this is more of an enforcement issue than some locations that require or would be helped by a speed hump, because you got 90 to 95% of the vehicles that are doing the speed limit. But we will talk about that in session. I just wanted to address, I don't know if the person came up here today to talk about the water utilities from, because last month there was some issue, resident came in and talked about the water and how much the water, nothing should be in the water, we shouldn't be paying people out of the water department. Well, when that particular person was on the council, I believe council president, the salary and overtime for water departments were between $623,000 and $679,000. The last 2 years, salaries and overtime were $435,000 and $455,000. So we do have people that are dedicated to the water department, and we pay them out of that. But the point is that when somebody comes up and says you should do something, and then they did the exact opposite, and know full well that they did the exact opposite, I just think it was it's not right. It gave the wrong impression, and people who might not see this and just saw that might say, hey, you know what, this guy's got a point, but just not the right thing. So, just coming from the doctor, so I'm a little off kilter here, so everyone else is happy because I'm not going to talk a lot. I'll see everyone at the Memorial Day Parade, and have fun.
We have a reading of 1745-24, second reading of the ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 196 of the Code of the Township of Southbrook entitled Vehicles and Traffic, for second reading.
Motion. Second. Roll call.
Councilman Saluka?
Yes.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sanchez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer?
Yes.
Council President Accomando.
Yes.
An ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 196 of the Code of the Township of Southbrook entitled Vehicles and Traffic.
Motion open to public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This ordinance is open to the public. Anyone wishing to speak? No one? Motion closed. All in favor?
Aye.
Be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that the ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 196 of the Code of the Township of Saddlebrook entitled Vehicles and Traffic is now passed on second and final reading, and that the Township Clerk be directed to advertise said ordinance or title thereof in the press, together with the notice of the date of passage of said ordinance according to law.
Motion? Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Ordinance 1746-24 for second reading. An ordinance to amend and supplement an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to fix water rates and service charges and penalties for the municipal water system of the Township of Saddle River, now Saddlebrook, in the County of Bergen, revision of 1931, as amended and supplemented for a second reading.
Motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye. This ordinance is open to the public. Anyone wishing to speak?
Rodriguez. Just real quick to reply to the mayor. The same way that they open the work session at any time, all the time, why it can be possible right here? What is the difference with whether it's televised or not? The time is there. Some people, we are paying $30,000 on health benefits, so it should be open and no time limit. Anyway, coming back to this, fix the water rates. Can someone up there, some of the council members that are going to vote on this today, can tell me what is the actual rate there? The water rate. What is the actual rate today? Can someone help?
Keep talking. We'll get it.
Oh, I'm just waiting because he follows up. In the meantime, that you're looking for it, right? I also would like to ask you, to any of the council members that are here to vote on this, have you received a notice from the water company that the rates are going to be increased?
I believe that's one of the reasons that we're doing this. There is an increase.
That was not my question. Again, to council president, to any of the council members, have we received a notice from the water company saying that the water rates will be increased? That's what you're voting about.
Through the chair, a notice wouldn't be appropriate until an ordinance is passed establishing the rate. Otherwise, it would be considered premature, and as you know, an ordinance may not be adopted, and an ordinance can be amended. So I'm sure once the ordinance is adopted, if it's adopted, and it's not further amended, that the residents will receive the appropriate notice. But that's the way it should be done, and that's the way it's going to be done here in this instance.
With all respect, Mr. Attorney, my question has been very simple. At the last meeting, they say that we don't make, council members said that we don't make any money out of the sale of the water. Today, I'm asking a simple question. The fixed tax rate is going to put in motion to be increased because the water rates have been increased by the water company. My question is simple. Have we received a notice from the water company stating that?
I think we misunderstood what your question, okay. You're saying, did Veolia give us?
Yes. Have they? Yes.
Yes, I didn't understand. I thought you were
That's what
questioning
I'm
whether
trying
Saddlebrook
to
said
rephrase
that.
it, yes.
I don't believe for this year, but for the last 4 years.
Okay.
The last 4 years.
Okay. So there's no time limit for second reading, just so you know.
Well, I understand.
Now, yes, yes.
Yeah, I know who made the rules, you don't make the rules. So
It's
just
not a rule, it's a
Just
law.
saying, the current water rate is $5.13 per 100 cubic feet. It's going up to $5.25 per 100 cubic feet.
Wrong. Please read it. It's going to be increased to 5.13 if you do not exceed 12,000 cubic feet. If you exceed 12,000 cubic feet, then it jumps to 5.25. But still, it's not the answer to my question. What is the current rate? It's not 5.13. Please, before you vote, you need to educate yourself a little bit more. In the meantime, they keep on looking. They're waiting for this increase in the water rates because this is a second tax. Every year, the water is making a surplus. The year before it was 600,000, last year 500,000. So how much more are they planning to do at a surplus? What is a surplus? A money that is just used as a slush fund that comes back into the general budget to try or to tell the public, oh my, your taxes are not going up too much. That's a lie too. Because you're already paying the water. But why? That's fine what Councilman Similuca just explained before, I believe. Some DPW workers are getting paid out of that account. But then also we are paying $95,000 for PERS. PERS is the system where civil employees get paid when they're retired. Then also is getting paid $50,000 to Social Security. Then we also pay a bond for $317,000. That is an interest on that bond of $110,000. I believe that if you said before at the last council meeting, our public recorded that the town is not making a single penny out of the transaction of sale in the water. That's all unquestioned. It was said right here, and then for the record, it should have stated that the water, it is a business that we reselling to the residents of Southbrook, and a lot of money is coming. I believe, don't take me on this one, but it's just my memory working out. I believe that somehow we pay like $2.7 million something like that per year to that water company, but then we collect somehow like $3.6 million. So that is helping the budget, the operating budget. So we're using that as a cash cow in order to balance it out the budget. So as long as the people at home or the residents are knowledgeable, that's all my point right here. Because then we are double taxing them. Property tax, and then it's a water tax. That's the second tax. And we are trying to increase it, but then again, so far I haven't received, because I know that it's done, it haven't been a water tax increase from the company. Because on the website is noted, and it doesn't say that they have increased the water rates. And second, 5.3 or 5.13, it is not a current rate. So please, I urge you, if you are not educated in this, please table it. Get the proper information and vote at the next meeting. Because what you just guys are ready to do without showing that you got no knowledge about these water rates, basically it's not the right way to do it. And I'll just finish with this. If we are paying a bond, which by the way might be proper, it might be proper, $300,000 in a bonding out of this account, and we're paying also $110,000. Imagine how much money is in that account. And I'm just going to leave it out there because it's not a controversy, it's nothing. I was just trying to clear out your point, Council President, when you said last month that we don't make 1 cent, 1 penny out of that water sale. And I'm just here to prove it that you were mistaken. And then again, I don't believe that the water...
It's going to someone's pay. We're not profiting from it, it's going towards someone's pay. is paying their salaries.
That is the difference when you mean by profit. Yes, the town is profiting because it's charging more than what the company is selling the water to the town. It's a profit. That's what it is, a surplus. It is a surplus of $500,000 that comes into the general budget to pay roads or to pay the lights or whatever we have to pay. $500,000 that is coming out of the water. So we try to continue making the water line item as a cash flow coming into the budget. All I'm trying to do right here is a point that all the residents in Southwood have to know what they're paying and where the money's going. Yes, the town is making money out of the water account. If you have any other questions, thank you very much for listening. By the time we come back, I don't know if it's going to be another meeting, but happy Father's Day to all the fathers at home and to all the viewers. Thank you very much for listening and for viewing. Thanks.
Through the chair, I just want to say it now because I may forget. I just want to say that I believe that Mr. Rodriguez is wrong. It's not profitable. It just maintains itself. Like you didn't mention anything at all. We own our own system. We have to maintain the pipes, water main breaks, all those other things. So it is, and we do have employees that work under the work department, but we're not making any money. Years ago, when you were here under that administration, I know that they used to take money. We haven't done that. As far as I know, we have not done that in the 10 years that I've been here. So, do we sometimes have a surplus in there? But you need to have a certain amount of surplus in case of an emergency. But we're not moving that money around from water to the general budget. I can tell you that. Used to, definitely used to, and you're right. When you were here, they used to do that. And I'm not saying that you were wrong for that, but
Also, through the chair, water rates have gone up in the last 5 years. There has not been an increase in 5 years. If you compare our rates to other towns, it's a lot lower than what other towns in the area. I'm going to get that data for everyone. So, thank you.
Motion to close, ordinance? All in favor?
Aye.
Be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Southbrook that the ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend the supplemented ordinance entitled, an ordinance to fix the water rates and service charges and penalties for the municipal water system of the Township of South River, now Southbrook, in the County of Bergen, revision of 1931, is amended and supplemented, is now passed on the second and final reading, and that the Township Clerk be directed to advertise said ordinance or title thereof in the press, together with the notice of the day of passage of said ordinance according to law.
Motion to approve.
All in favor? Oh, just like roll call.
Was there a second?
Was there a second?
Councilman Samuka?
Yes.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sanchez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mason? Council President Akamato?
Yes.
First reading ordinance 1747-24. An ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 106 handicap parking of the Code of the Township of Southbrook to provide for handicap parking space on street on Heister Avenue and for a resident on 8th Street for first reading.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Saluka?
Yes.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sanchez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mason? Council President Akamato?
Yes.
Be resolved by the Township Council that an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 106 handicap parking of the Code of the Township of Southbrook to provide for handicap parking spaces heretofore passed on first reading and further considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on June 20, 2024 at 7 o'clock p.m. or soon thereafter this matter to be reached at the Municipal Complex, 55 Mango Street. And at such time and place, all persons interested be given a notice of this introduction and passage on first reading, of time and place when where said ordinance be further considered for final passage.
Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Saluba.
Yes.
Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Council President Accomando.
Yes.
First reading of ordinance 1748-24. It's an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 173 of the Code of the Township of Sarahbrook entitled Stormwater Management for first reading.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Be resolved by the Township Council that the ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 173 of the Code of the Township of Sarahbrook entitled Stormwater Management heretofore passed on first reading be further considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on 20th day of June 2024 at 7 o'clock p.m. or sooner after this matter can be reached at the Municipal Complex, 55 Mayville Street, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance according to law, with the notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
First reading ordinance 1749-24. It's an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 192 of the Code of the Township of Sarahbrook entitled Trees for first reading.
Motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Be resolved by the Township Council that the ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 192 of the Code of the Township of Sarahbrook entitled Trees will pass on first reading, be further considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on the 20th day of June 2024 at 7 o'clock p.m. or sooner after this matter can be reached at the Municipal Complex, 55 Mayville Street, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance according to law, with the notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Through the chair, a question for council.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have this one in front of you?
The treaty ordinance. No, I don't have it right in front of me.
Hey, do it again. That was it out. We got something like that. I'm looking at section 6. I just have a question on this. My reading of the entire thing, this is for clear cutting of lots and not for individual tree cutting. And it says for violation, there shall be fined $250. Each tree is a separate violation. There is elsewhere in the ordinance something that if you're going to clear cut the trees, that you have to go according to a schedule to replace the trees. But if you don't do that, if you just clear cut it without the permits and going through review, it looks like it's just a fine of $250. There is something else in addition to fines. The zoning officer they require implementation of any remedial measures recommended by the township engineer and/or township planner to correct the violations. I mean, we could assume that they would say, well, you got to replant in accordance with the schedule, but would putting the requirement in there without just leaving it up to other people to make that determination, would that be a major change that would require going back and starting from scratch, or can that be amended at this point or before the second reading without going back to square one?
Well, because that could result in a significant cost to the property owner, I would think that that would be considered a significant change. That you would have to re-advertise.
We haven't done this introduction.
Oh, it's introduction, so we're going to re-advertisement. You could make the change right now if you wanted to. It wouldn't slow down the adoption, we're when you say clear cut, why do you feel so? If I clear cut, to me that means if I have 10 trees in my backyard and I'm cutting them all down, that would be a $250 fine for each tree I cut down.
Right, I get it.
Okay, it was just be one fine.
No, but section 3, regulated activities, is basically, it says application for clear cutting permit. So my reading of this is, it's not about somebody just cutting down one tree. It's for clear cutting a lot.
Right.
And then in section C, it talks about tree replacement requirements and what kind of trees you got to replace them with. I'm wondering if it's, in addition to the fine, instead of just saying, well, it's $250 plus whatever the engineer or the planner feels is appropriate, if they go according to law and actually do the right thing and apply, get site plan approval and all that kind of stuff, make the permit application, they have to abide by the schedule. But my initial reading of this says, if they don't do it, they kind of get a break because it's a $250 fine.
Right, no, there's certainly discretion involved, and if you want, if you believe that, your zoning officer, needs more specificity to that, and, make the change. Otherwise, you hope that if the zoning officer looked at it the way you just did, he would come to he or she would come to the conclusion that, well, if someone does it the right way and they have to replace all the trees, why wouldn't I require someone who didn't do it the correct way? But if you don't want to give them that discretion, you're free to change it and it wouldn't impact the introduction of this ordinance.
Well, the way I look at it is that there's got to be a recommendation from the engineer and or the planner, so those are two people, they make recommendations, and then now, after their recommendations, the zoning officer can say, yeah, yes or no, basically, and I don't know, I kind of think that if people are going by the law and they do the right thing, that they should also be required here to be, in addition to the fine, to go back and do the planting, the replanting of trees, or whatever else is in there as the remedy for, you're clear cutting a lot, you gotta do something, either by way of funding trees or replanting on your property or another property designated by the township.
The only thing, and I don't know what the rationale was, because they didn't provide it, but this was the model ordinance language provided by the state.
Yes.
So, again, that doesn't mean you can't change that if you choose to. I just, again, can't comment on what their rationale, and I guess them believing there may be circumstances that don't warrant that type of, mandate that you have to replace all the trees you cut down. But again, it's your prerogative if you want to leave it up to the discretion of the zoning officer or to take that discretion away.
Through the chair, I just want to mention too, now that we're speaking about this, and this will impact us voting on the ordinance, but two things. I've been approached by many residents that feel that we don't have any trees anymore between the sidewalk and the curb, and they've been asking if we could start a shade tree committee or commission or something to that's led by the town to start planting the right type of trees between the sidewalk and the curb. That's one thing, which it has. I mean, I grew up in this town and here most of my life, and there really aren't. I mean, I live on Tree Street, and I think there's one tree left between the sidewalk and the curb. So we do get quite a few complaints about that. So that's something that I want to consider, and no one has to respond now, but if any member of the council would be interested in being on that committee, please let me know. I'd like to move forward with something like that. And the other thing is, I've been approached by our zoning officer regarding that he feels, because he's the one that I guess is in charge of enforcing this ordinance, and he feels he's not a tree expert, and he had mentioned to me that it might be a good idea for the town to get an arborist, a tree specialist, that we may have to call out on occasions to see whether or not the tree is alive or is sick and needs to come down, that kind of thing. He doesn't want to make that determination because he's not a specialist.
But do you know, Mayor, if the county has a person with that capacity, that we could do some kind of shared service agreement?
Yeah, I think they do. They do have, they probably do. I'll check into that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I believe they do, because I know that they've entered into a shared services agreements with respect to removing trees. And the way that shared service agreement works is that the town identifies the trees, and they send the list to the county, and the county then verifies whether the tree is dead or not. So I believe if they're taking on that responsibility, that they must have somebody who has the qualifications to make that determination.
Just my suggestion is, just so people don't think that we're pulling things out of the air, if we could add something, including but not limited to the tree replacement requirements set forth in whatever the paragraph is, something, section 3, subsection C, and that subsection has the table there of how big the tree is and how much it's got to be. But if you take out a giant tree, you've got to replace it with 3 equivalent. You're not going to replace something that's been around for 100 years, but you've got to, you're not going to plant a twig to replace it. You got to give it the appropriate type of replacement tree. But then that's all set forth in that subsection C of section 3. And that's just my suggestion.
Well, again, if you make that in way of a motion, you get a second, you can make that change right now.
Unless anyone's got, I guess, you can either poll, I guess, or if anyone's got an opinion on that.
What would be the wording, Councilman?
I'm thinking including but not limited to adherence to Article, Section 3, subsection, Section 3C, which basically is tree replacement requirements. And that's got the schedule, the table.
Now we're going to section, where's that amendment going?
That would be under Section 6, violation of penalties.
Yeah.
So it'd be 250 a tree, plus you've got to plant as if you got the actual permit that you're supposed to get. Because for some people, I guess, cutting down the trees and paying $250 a tree, it's beneficial to them. But if now they've got to do what they should not to begin with, it might make them think twice about not getting the permit.
Motion to change the ordinance to reflect what Councilman Salute.
Second?
In favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
So now you get to vote on the introduction as amended.
The ordinance 1749-24, an ordinance amending supplementing, John, as amended, we didn't adopt or do anything yet.
No, but you're voting on this introduction as amended.
Okay. Now therefore be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Southbrook that an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 192 of the Code of the Township of Southbrook entitled Trees as amended be further considered for final passage at meetings to be held on the 20th day of June at 7 p.m. or soon thereafter as matter to be reached at the Municipal Complex, 55 Maple Street, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance according to law. There is notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when where said ordinance to be further considered for final passage.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ordinances. All items listed with an asterisk are considered routine and non-controversial by the Township Council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member or member so requested, in which case the item or items will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. The one motion signifies adoption of all resolutions, receipt and file letters, correspondence, reports, and approval of minutes and applications. The minutes will be voted on separately and is not part of the consent agenda.
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. We have the minutes. February 15, 2024, council meeting.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
This is safe for that.
Councilman Samuka,
Yes.
Councilman Garrett,
This is safe for the friends.
Councilwoman Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilman Nazar,
Yes.
Council President Armando.
Yes. Before I go into business, I just want to finish something on this. It's my fault, I wasn't prepared for gentlemen that come up. Our current rate is $4.27 cubic foot up to 12,000. After 12,000, it goes from 427 to 437 is our current rate. The rate they want to charge us for up to 12,000, from 427 is $5.13. That's an increase of 86 cents for up to 12,000. Over 12,000, it goes from 437 to 525 for an increase of 88 cents. So, again, I apologize to people here, people watching that. I wasn't aware of that. I had, my papers only had the new rate, not the old rate. So I apologize for that. And this is something that was prescribed to us by the state and our auditor to do so in order for our budget to be as good as our budget is. And with that being said, and I said this when I was running for council 2 years ago. This town has never been in the financial shape it's been in its existence as it is now. And anyone wants to challenge it, they can come here and challenge it. We are now in over $6 million in surplus. Town has never seen such a surplus as it is seen now under this mayor and this council. So we may not have the exact numbers, but we always do what's right for the people that we represent. Whether, I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, undecided. If you're living in a town, we can do the right thing for you, we'll do the right thing for you. I don't care what party you're with. But this council has done more and better for the township than any council. As far as this $27 million building, not $30 million building, it gets used in ways that we never imagined. We have kids here on a daily basis utilizing it, it's taken off the streets, out of harm's way. It could be utilized a little better, and we're working on it. It's all good for us. So to say that it was a waste of money, I don't want to say it's a lie. It's just misinformation because it wasn't a waste of money. It's something that needs to be done. It's been talked about since 1979, and this was the first council to get together like adults and realize that it was the right thing to do for not only the town residents, but the employees as well. And that's all I want to do with my chest. I apologize for not getting that numbers. That's my fault. I'll take blame for that. Thank you. Old business? Anyone? New business?
I just want to, I'm sorry.
I believe that I've been closed.
But we're done with the agenda.
Just I didn't get a chance to say anything, but the first ordinance that we passed was about the e-scooters and the e-bikes, which we've got a couple of officers here, and they're charged with enforcing it, and they will tell you that when operated properly, they're great. But unfortunately, like anything, people have a tendency to take liberties with the law. Up to now, we did not have any kind of regulations for the police to enforce, but now they have. So we hope that people on these scooters drive safely, but they're not only, when they don't drive safely, they're not only putting themselves in danger, but other people. And what ends up happening is people have to avoid them, and who knows what happens. I see this in other towns where you've got a bunch of wackadoodles driving around, especially, as I keep saying, on Hoboken, so there's all these guys, because it's 1 square mile, and there's no place to park. So you've got all these guys on these e-scooters making deliveries toward Dash and Uber Eats and things like that, but they're going the wrong way. They're going in and out of traffic. They're going in between vehicles. They're a hazard. I've said it a number of times. I can't walk off the corner. If I don't catch myself, there's a guy with his mind, really got a look. And there's a red light, and they just go right through. But we're giving our law enforcement something to, we're putting some teeth into the regulations.
So, this is I just want to say one more thing. I mentioned in my comments about the old town hall, 93 Market Street, the old police department, and municipal court at 73 Market. I just want to mention, I said it in my comments, but another real benefit for the town and the taxpayers is once that property is sold, the town will make the money on the sale, but the real benefit is and will be purchased by some other developer that's going to build something there and build a rateable property that we're going to be able to tax. So it's a real big benefit to the town and the taxpayer. So the more people or businesses that are paying taxes, the better for everyone. So to me, it's not an option, or it's not really, it's not an intelligent move to just keep there and do nothing. I mean, if we're going to do that, which I know I'm positive that everybody on this council feels the same way that I do, because they want to do the right thing and help out taxpayers. But I mean, if that were the case, we're just going to let it sit there, might as well just tear it down and have it be a park, if that were the case, rather than just keep those buildings sitting there. So it's the right thing to do, and as I said before, that was something that when we built this $27 million building, we said we were going to do, and I intend on fulfilling that, and I think the council's on that.
I know a year or two ago, we had the Safe Valley Sewage Commission come in, they did de-snagging on the Saddle River. I was hoping maybe we could get in touch with Safe Valley and see if they could come down and take a look and see if there's any downed trees, anything that they could clean up in the event that we do have a flood event. So, I mean, over here, when were you here, Mayor? Do you remember? A couple years ago, right?
About a year and a half ago.
Year and a half. So, well, Jay and I just hope we can contact them and see if they can come down and take a look and then do some work there for you to see. Thank you.
I just want to let Mr. Mayor comment. Is that his?
Yes.
I just want to let you know you weren't here. We missed you.
I missed the board meeting again.
He's been coming to every meeting to work on a light ordinance. He's been very diligent, but he missed the meeting. We hope he was happy because we had individuals here that are implementing the ordinance and ironing it out so we could have it for hopefully June. So if you could come to the next work session.
I talked to the PDL, he gave me updates.
Oh, okay. But thank you for.
Thank you so much.
Because Okay, so we're going to close session. Oh, I'm sorry. That's okay.
I'd just like to take this opportunity to wish, of course, all the dads a happy Father's Day, dads, stepdads, grandpa. And also congratulate, since graduations have begun, I'd like to congratulate class 2024, but I also like to congratulate two special girls. One of my granddaughter, Julia, she graduated Syracuse last week, University, and also my granddaughter, Brook, who graduated Magna Carta Academy. Very proud.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Andrew?
I want to express my condolences to the British family. Paul the British was one of the least of the things that any kids they did was he was on our planning board for a number of years. Sorry about that. But he was a good friend and a good man, and anyone who had the opportunity to meet him was a better person for that. And also on a happier note, we were surprised on Mother's Day by my daughter Gabriella announcing that she was going to have our third grandchild. So congratulations to Gabriella and Frank.
Congratulations.
Whereas the Township Council of the Township of Southwark desires to meet for the purpose of closed session to discuss negotiations. Whereas the Open Public Meetings Act has been a exception, allows a public body to hold a closed session to discuss these items, and therefore be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Southwark that the closed session to take place on May 16, 2024 at 7 o'clock p.m. or sooner after this matter to be reached at the municipal building, be closed to the public and to the press. And the results of the discussion at the closed session will be released to the public when reasons for discussing and acting on closed session no longer exist.
Motion?
Motion to close.
Second. Roll call.
Councilman Smith? Yes. Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez?
Yes.
Councilman Azar? And Council President Romano?
Yes.
Council President, how long will we be in closed session for? Approximately, you have to announce that. Because we have to announce that we're going to reopen the public. So going by that we in closed session for approximately 15 minutes, at which time the meeting will reopen to the public. You will be invited back in if you choose to stay, wait, further action may be taken, but in all likelihood it will just be to adjourn the meeting. Need a motion to...
Come out closed.
Yes.
Need a motion to come out of closed? You gotta wait, then he's up. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Motion to come out of closed?
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye. The meeting is now open to the public for agenda items only. Anybody wishing to speak?
Good evening, Janine Ferguson, 321 8th Street. I just had a question regarding the status. I missed the early part of the meeting where it was about the grant for the park, so I'm not sure where we are with that. I just had that question.
Yes, it was approved that no one came to speak on it, but we are going to, go forward with the grant application. So we should find out. We already have some money. We're trying to get as much money funding as we can to do the project. I know it's taken a long time, but it will get done, I promise you.
Okay, thank you.
Motion to close? All in favor? Aye. Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
No.
Okay.
Please adjourn.
No my objection.
All right, that's all we know.
Where is my
to talk to you.